Hello there, Katarn here, and it is Wednesday, my dudes. Let's do the comics. So first up, we have the 31st and final issue of Poe Dameron by Charles Soule and Angel Unzueta. Jess, Kare, Snap, and Sura are being slowly overwhelmed by the First Order as they try to defend a city from destruction. I, for one, was very relieved to see that Sura Linda was alive and well after the end of issue 30 teased so much that she was gonna die. It was a big cliffhanger. I thought her acid-spitting attack was cool and was honestly kind of a brutal takedown. Serves as a reminder that the Resistance is a little bit less afraid to fight dirty than maybe the rebellion that came before it. Poe Dameron arrives just in time to save the day and turn the tide of the battle. I really like the scene where Poe reveals to the First Order that Snoke is dead, which confirms what I've always suspected. After the events of Episode 8, the First Order military has no idea who is actually in charge of the organization, and I really hope they explore that dynamic at least a little bit in Episode 9. I thought the last page was absolutely beautiful. Angel Unzueta is really going out on a high note with this series here. And I also really liked Poe's ending speech. I think it shows just how much he's learned and how much he's changed since the events of The Last Jedi. I also really like that Charles Soule made a point of reinstating Poe at the rank of commander, after he was demoted by Holdo in Episode 8. Overall, I'd say this was an epic, satisfying conclusion to a great series. Now that it's been released in its entirety, I highly recommend checking it out to anybody that hasn't read it. You can get the whole thing start to finish now, well worth reading. Moving on, we have Dr. Aphra 24 by Simon Spurrier and Kev Walker. The issue begins with Aphra sending Sanastaros out in an escape pod, as the jail hurls on a collision course towards a rebel planet. Tolvin, Lopsit, and Aphra try to trick Tampazla into thinking he's finally captured the notorious Dr. Evazan, therefore luring the psychic spores away from the Jedi cruiser, and therefore allowing Aphra to get her shiny lightsaber. Yes, as always, it's less about rescuing everyone, and more about self-serving archaeological interests. Good old Aphra. One thing about this current Dr. Aphra arc that I do have to say is that I'm getting pretty tired of the same asteroid prison location. It's been 5 issues straight on this big rock, and it's starting to get a little boring visually. It does look like we'll be moving on to somewhere new after this issue, though, based on how it ends. The epic return of BT and 000. I loved that 000 was whistling a merry tune as he comes striding towards Aphra. It really is a testament to Simon Spurrier's writing, but I never thought that a protocol droid could be so intimidating. And then, as if things couldn't get worse, Tolvin reveals that she's called in another person that Aphra does not want to meet on an asteroid, Darth Vader. Tolvin called him in as a backup rescue plan, but Vader's not really the rescuing type, so I'm not quite sure what she was thinking. Knowing that having a head full of Imperial secrets is much too dangerous, the issue ends with Aphra begging Tolvin to use the boar creature to erase her mind. I guess we'll have to wait till next issue to find out whether or not she goes through with it. And finally, we have Star Wars Adventures issue 14. The first story is Chewie's Day Off by John Barber and Morris Sett. So this story was a lot of fun. Basically, Chewbacca is annoying Han Solo so much that he basically just gives him the day off and is like, I don't want anything to do with you, just go have fun. He gets to relax for about 5 minutes total, then a bounty hunter shows up, hijinks ensue, he gets chased across town. What's great about the story is that there's barely any English dialogue. There's a little bit in the beginning and in the end with Han Solo talking, but almost the entire story is conveyed through alien dialects. Chewie manages to save the day, and Han Solo. Story's definitely worth reading. The other story we have is Flight of the Falcon Part 1 by Michael Morecci and Ariana Florian. The intro takes place during the events of Episode 7. Bazine Natal sits down with IG-88 to get some intel out of him about the Millennium Falcon, which he's currently tracking because the First Order has a bounty on BB-8. IG-88 tells Bazine the tale of when he and Agent Kallus worked together to track down the Millennium Falcon shortly after the events of Solo. Agent Kallus calls out Han as an Imperial deserter, and I thought it was interesting that he knew so much about him. But then it occurred to me that Kallus is an agent of the Imperial Security Bureau, so of course he would have intel on all kinds of things. Solo and Chewie escape from Savareen with IG-88 and Kallus hot on their heels, and the Falcon manages to jump to lightspeed after executing a daring maneuver flying between 2 Star Destroyers. Kallus is pissed. IG-88 basically says, told you so. The issue ends back in the sequel era with Bazine Natal vowing to capture the Millennium Falcon. Guess we'll have to wait for the next issue to find out how that story concludes. That's it for the comics this time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out the rest of the channel for more content, reactions, and reviews. Leave me a comment if you have a question or something to say, and as always, may the Force be with you.